Hi guys, so a few weeks ago I mentioned that I may be starting a wedding series. Most of you that have watched my channel for quite some time know that my full-time job is in the wedding industry, so I have a degree in social work. I did not go to school for event planning, but I worked a lot in the nonprofit world, and you always play multiple roles when you're in the nonprofit world, and one of the things that I used to always get stuck with was planning events. In the different roles that I had as a social worker, I worked a lot with youth and stuff like that. There's a lot of fundraising involved in the nonprofit world, so anyway, that's kind of how I really got interested in event planning, and after doing that for a while, I knew that I wasn't going to last as a social worker for very long. It's just, as much as I thought that it was going to be a lifelong thing for me, it didn't end up working out that way. I have a hard time emotionally separating myself from my clients, and that just got to be very hard for me because their struggles sort of became my struggles, and I couldn't continue to live my life that way. So anyway, after I made the decision that I no longer wanted to work in the social work world, I knew that I wanted to start my own business, and I knew the one thing that I was really good at was planning events. And so a girlfriend of mine and I decided to start a company together, and it essentially started after my wedding in 2008. So we've been at this for quite some time now. My girlfriend was actually dating my brother-in-law at the time, and she was a corporate event planner at a really big insurance, national insurance firm. So she planned very large corporate events, and I came from doing nonprofit events essentially. So we had what it takes to start an event planning company in terms of experience, and so we just kind of decided to go for it because there were a lot of struggles that I had when I was planning my wedding. I was on a fairly tight budget, and I had $15,000 to somehow figure out how to have a wedding for 200 people for that amount of money. And the city in which I live, I should say, it's kind of tough to have a large wedding on that type of budget. There were a lot of things that I had to cut. One of the things that I did not want to cut was having a day of coordinator. However, at the time, I was, inquiring with some local companies about day of coordination services, and they were charging anywhere from starting at $1,500 onwards to $3,500 for one day worth of services. Now, sure, I think you can charge whatever you want to charge, but unfortunately, because my budget was $1,500, I was not going to be able to fork over $1,500 of that or $3,500 of that to somebody to just come and set up my space and basically direct my day on my wedding day. So I knew that Kim had the experience, and so I just had her basically be my day of coordinator. And it was after that we were just kind of talking, and basically just decided that there has to be another option out there for brides who are on a budget. I really have a soft spot in my heart for brides who don't have $80,000 laying around to have their dream wedding. And so we started our company, and we kind of started it with the mission that we would make ourselves available essentially to everybody that needs either planning services or just day of coordination services. So all of our services are priced a la carte. That makes us a little bit different from some of the other companies because you can just hire us on an hourly basis. There is no minimum within the city that we live, but if people hire us out at the coast or in the eastern part of the state or up north in Washington somewhere, then there is definitely a minimum because we have to make it worth our while. I mean, I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to the coast to work for 2 hours. That just doesn't make sense. So, we figured it out to where we really felt good about our rates, and we just kind of went for it. We just started, and, we had I think 5 weddings our first year, and then 15 weddings the next year, and then it just kept growing to 30, 40. Now we are anywhere between 50 and 60 weddings a year, and that's a lot. We have grown beyond just my business partner and I. We have lead assistants. We also just have regular assistants that go either with myself or my business partner or one of our leads. And we offer a lot more pre-planning services. People are starting to book us earlier in the process, so we're able to save them money by helping them actually plan their weddings. That's really what a planner should do, is that person is actually there to kind of guide you in the planning process, to tell you where you should spend your money, where you should save your money, how you can negotiate with different vendors to get a better deal, all of those kinds of things. So that's just a little bit of background about how I got into doing what I do. Now, in the years since we started it, we've added other services within the company, so I can speak to quite a few different areas. We've also worked with hundreds of vendors just in our area alone, and we've also done weddings in different states. We have done weddings in different parts of our state, so we've worked with so many different vendors, and that's awesome because we just have this insane amount of experience, and we have just gotten better and better at helping our clients identify different areas where they need to focus their time and their energy and their money, and we know exactly where to tell them to save some money. So anyway, that's just a little intro for you guys. I really enjoy what I do. It is it's a lot of work. If I had $1 for every time somebody told me that, it's their goal in life to be a wedding planner, I would be very rich. And I always want to tell those people, this isn't what is that movie that J-Lo is in? I totally can't think of the name of it now. It's not like that. It is not glamorous. It's not fabulous. I work my ass off in a very condensed time, which works great because then the rest of the year is a little bit more relaxed. But during spring and summer, I work very, very long hours. I have very little time off. I get sweaty, I get gross, I get yelled at, I get talked down to. I have had people try to hit me, drunk people at weddings. My business partner has gotten bit. We've been vomited on. We have had awful things happen where we had to call ambulances at weddings. So it's not glamorous. I will say that. And basically, I would say that the day of is normally, it's just kind of a shit show until literally right before it starts. And that's the beauty of having somebody else take care of your day of. The bride doesn't have to worry about it. So we take care of all of this silly, nitpicky, or huge things that need to be done so that the bride and her family can actually enjoy the big day. So yeah, if you're thinking that this is something that you want to do for a living, I would think long and hard because it takes a certain type of personality. Sometimes I think that I don't necessarily have the personality for it, or that I'm losing my patience for it. because it takes a lot. You have to have a high level of professionalism. You have to have a high level of patience. You have to be creative as all get out. You have to be able to think on your feet. You have to be insanely good at public speaking. You have to be comfortable directing people and telling them what to do. There's just a lot that goes into it. So, yeah, think long and hard. Make sure that you have the personality for it, and that this is something that you're actually really passionate about. Because while you may think it sounds like a good time, it's not necessarily a good time. Now, I don't want to make it seem like it's not a bad job. I obviously love my job. That's why I do it. But I do also want to put it out there that it's not what people first think of it as. I get to be a part of like everybody's like happiest day of their life. You know, getting married is such a big, awesome thing, and it's something that most women have been waiting for, you know, ever since they were like 10 and they were dreaming of their dress, and you know, they're marrying the man of their dreams, and it's an insanely happy time. And you know, I cry a lot at weddings because it is just truly like such a blessing to be a part of it. But you know, it's not all sunshine and kittens and rainbows and sprinkles. A lot of it that you're dealing with as a planner is the shit show behind the scenes. So, you know, there's that part of it too. But anyway, so that's just kind of my little intro for you. If you have specific questions, I would love it if you would leave it at the bottom of this video here. And as I'm going through the series, I will sort of come back to this video from time to time and see if there are specific questions to answer. I will just continue over the next few months or year or however long I want to drag this out, just addressing different topics for you. The very first one, which I'm going to record actually next after this video, is about wedding makeup. That is probably the one thing that I have gotten the most questions about. I've got a lot of like private messages about it in my inbox, and so this is definitely something that I think a lot of people are probably most interested in, being that this is a beauty channel anyway. So yeah, hopefully I can kind of give you a sense of like what this whole industry is like, what my job is all about, give you tips and little tricks to save money along the way, and just help to sort of like de-stress. Because weddings can definitely be a stressful time, and there's ways to minimize those stresses and just be able to enjoy the experience just a little bit more. So yeah, thank you guys for having an interest in this, and I definitely look forward to sharing a little bit more about my job with you guys. So I'll see you guys in the very first video. Bye.